February 15th, 2023. Wednesday of the 6th week. Saint of the day is Saint Walfrid. First reading. Genesis chapter 8. Verses 6 to 13, 20 to 22. At the end of 40 days Noah opened the hatch he had made in the ark, and he sent out a raven to see if the waters has lessened on the earth. It flew back and forth until the waters dried off from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the waters had lessened on the earth. But the dove could find no place to alight and perch, and it returned to him in the ark, for there was water over all the earth. Putting out his hand, he caught the dove and drew it back to him inside the ark. He waited yet 7 days more and again released the dove from the ark. In the evening the dove came back to him, and there in its bill was a plucked off olive leaf. So Noah knew that the waters had lessened on the earth. In the 601st year of Noah's life, in the first month, on the first day of the month, the water began to dry up on the earth. Noah built an altar to the Lord, and, choosing from every clean animal and every clean bird, he offered burnt offerings on the altar. When the Lord smelled the sweet odor, he said to himself, "Never again will I doom the earth because of man's sins. The desires of the man's heart are evil from the start, nor will ever again strike down all living beings, as I have done. As long as the earth lasts, seedtime and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter and day and night shall not cease." Responsorial Song. To you, Lord, I will offer a sacrifice of praise. Gospel. Mark chapter 8. Verse 22 to 26. When Jesus and his disciples arrived at Bethsaida, people brought to him a blind man and begged Jesus to touch him. He took the blind man by the hand and led him outside the village. Putting spittle on his eyes, he laid his hands on the man and asked, "Do you see anything?" Looking up, the man replied, "I see people looking like trees and walking." Then he laid hands on the man's eyes a second time and he saw clearly. His sight was restored and he could see everything distinctly. Then he sent him home and said, "Do not even go into the village." Reflection. His sight was restored and he could see everything distinctly. The healing of the blind man at Bethsaida represents in a way the gradual understanding of the disciples regarding the identity of Jesus. The previous episode ends with Jesus' question, "Do you still not understand?" Mark chapter 8. Verse 21. What is unusual about this healing is that it happens in 2 stages, corresponding to the 2 physical gestures: the use of spittle, and the laying of hands. Initially, the blind man sees partially after Jesus placed spittle on his eyes. Then at the laying on of hands, he sees completely. Mark tells this story to illustrate the 2-stage enlightenment of the disciples. Faith and understanding go hand in hand. Saint Augustine speaks of faith seeking understanding, where one begins with trust in God and, on the basis of that faith, moves on to further understanding of Christian truth. chronologically. Faith precedes understanding. In the same way, children trust their parents and then believe what they say. Later, at maturity, they will examine and confirm the truth themselves. Saint Anselm of Canterbury puts it this way: I do not seek to understand in order that I may believe, but rather, I believe in order that I may understand.